Are you feeling overwhelmed? Like you need to perform in a certain way in order to succeed? Do you fear taking a break in case you let people down? The thing is, we can go into overdrive and burnout if we don't take that pause to rest and rejuvenate. It really is okay to take a break. It's in these moments of pause that real magic can happen. But it's really important to plan your next steps as well. So don't go into overwhelm and take that time for you. My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. I'll say this again, being is as productive as doing. It's in those moments in between that we can actually create more ideas. And I love this. Like, you know, if I do take a break, the answers and the ideas just flood in. But if I'm overdoing it and rushing ahead, I would be delayed because I just keep making mistakes and I won't perform to my best self. We feel really guilty if we take a break, especially if we're in the spotlight or on social media of any kind. We feel like if we don't produce every day, that we're going to let people down. And obviously as coaches, we have that fear as well. We want to be there for our clients. We want to be there for our followers. But we cannot be, and this is even about family members or friends or anything in our lives. We cannot be our best selves if we don't look after ourselves first. How can you pour from an empty cup? And I've done this so many times. I've gone into overdrive. I've gone into burnout. And this is one really important thing. If we don't listen to our inner guidance when it comes to taking a rest, we will actually be forced to take a rest. We've been led to believe that you have to be doing all the time and that if you don't do, you're lazy. It took me a long time to get over that. You know what I mean? When I was going through my first, initially going through spiritual awakening, there was times you'd be going through a dark night of the soul where you just physically can't do anything. You just can't. It's this deep spiritual depression and you can't get out of bed even. And you'd feel guilty. You'd feel so guilty. Even though no one would know that you were sitting at home in your PJs, you would still feel guilty because we're wired to say if you're not doing something, you're lazy. This is bullshit. In those moments of pause, we can do so much. But even if you don't do anything in the moments of pause, as in create ideas, you need to rest. If you don't rest, your body is going to scream at you to rest. It's going to come out in illness, dis-ease, pain. Like I've said this before. Anytime I was overdoing it, I would pull muscles left, right, and center all the time. You know what I mean? I was rushing around the place and I came down off my deck. My deck is pretty high. And I could hear, I went down on my ankle and my ankle snapped. I live on my own and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Do you know what I mean? And like, it's literally the universe is telling you, if you don't take a rest, I'm going to force you to take a rest. We don't want it to get that far. So listen to your inner guidance. And this is one thing that's been on my mind a lot lately. I went into overdrive. I went into stress. I didn't even know I was in stress. This is what I call happy stress. Is you're continuously producing, you're continuously doing. Things are working out and things are coming together, but you're not giving yourself that rest. So your body is still going under stress, but you're not acknowledging it because you're in a good mood. And it took for me to go to the beach, and I told you that, guys, I was lying in the water and my whole body went into just complete relaxation mode. Everything just, the way I see it, like that night anyway, after that relaxation, I was in agony. My whole body was in agony. So effectively for weeks, I was actually doing so much that my body was so tense that I wasn't feeling the pain I was under. And when my body was able to relax in the sea, it literally ended up, I suppose, releasing this trapped pain that I had. And that was my wake-up call. That was like literally saying, I didn't know I was stressed. I remember even saying, to a fellow coach, like, I'm not stressed. My stress levels are below zero. And little did I know they were actually way up. And it was only when my immune system was affected that I actually was like, shit, man, I need to take a break. And it's funny. The same week I said I was going to take a break, my landlord was home from New Zealand and we ended up painting the whole house outside. Like, and I was just like, yeah, I think I need to sit down after this one. Do you know what I mean? Like, I literally, my body and mind was screaming at me, sit the fuck down. Take a little bit of a pause. And, I still haven't done that. I'm still, sharing content every day. Now I've been guided to restructure it. So I'm not doing as much, exuding as much energy. This is the thing we don't realize, especially if you're on social media. there's such an energetic exchange when we're on social media. But with any job or with any interaction with people, especially as an empath, you're taking on that energy. So if you meet 20 people in your office every day or more, you're taking on all that energy. That's big. But if you're working from home on social media, how many people are at the other side of that phone? Thousands, millions. You know, they might not all be following you, but you're still, this is an energy of this, what you're taking on social media or any kind of media at all. So if you're like, the way I see it is, if you're actually working online, 1 or 2 hours maybe 3 hours is the equivalent of a full day. It really is, because even though it might look like you're working less hours, the energy that you're exuding through social media is like you've done a full day. And you know, I get all my work done very early, and then by the afternoon I need a fucking nap. It's that bad. Do you know what I mean? I know I'm up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, but like at the end of the day, I'm producing more energy because I'm online. And we forget that we're energetic beings. So even if somebody, say, for example, if you're sharing content online, you've got your good followers, but you've also got your sneaky followers who secretly hate what you're doing. And every time they see a post from you, they're sending negative energy. So you have to be mindful of that as well. So you're not only taking on a mass of good energy from people, you're taking on a mass of bad energy as well. So you have to be mindful to cleanse your energy more importantly. But you have to be mindful that you take a break, because this overwhelm, this burnout is going to happen if you don't register the fact that you're doing more, even though it looks like you're doing less. We think that we think that we're doing a few hours or whatever amount of time online or social media, and we think that's not enough. And we think we have to do 12 hours on social media to feel like we've done a full day. But in actual fact, a few hours on social media is like working a full day. It's what it does to your energy. But there's this thing as well that keeps coming to mind as well. And I was going through this. It was the fact that I felt like I needed to be a certain way in order to be respected or to earn my following. What I mean is, you know, I felt if I took a break, I was going to be letting people down. And this really consumed me. It really did. It was like, you know, for example, a couple of times my Wi-Fi has gone down. And the last time it went down, I spent about 4 hours outside uploading it through my data. It takes about 4 or 5 hours to upload a video through data. So I need my Wi-Fi. So the last time my Wi-Fi went down, which was last week, I think it was, last week, I literally went through this panic. My nervous system went into overdrive. I was in a terrible state, in fear and anxiety, going, oh my God, what am I going to do about my video? I had to spend hours just trying to upload my video. I was freaking out. And I was like, what will I do? I'm going to let everyone down. I'm going to let everyone down. And it really consumed me. And I was like, no, you've been getting the message for ages now that you need to take a rest, or that you need to restructure your working system, that you need to do things differently. So I literally said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to upload a video today. I'm not going to wait 5 hours, because, you know, the reason it takes so long as well, you kind of need to more or less watch it, because if you're not in the right coverage, it's going to go back to the start. Oh my God, it's really hard to fucking upload through data. But like, I was literally freaking out. I was like, I'm going to have to go through that stress again, you know, of hours of uploading. And I was like, oh, I can't do this. And I just got the inner guidance. You know what? You're not doing a video today. And it was hard for me. I was sitting there, I was freaking out, and I was like, look, just send a message, put it out on your channels that you're not uploading a video today. Take that rest. And you know what? It was funny, because a couple of hours after I sent that message, you know, my Wi-Fi came back, and I said to myself, maybe I'll upload now. And I was like, no, you're taking a break. And look, this is the thing. We have to say this to ourselves. What would happen if you didn't post a video today? Yes, I know that some people are depending on your videos and on your advice and your help, but oftentimes People, we can get codependent on videos as well. So the people that are there watching your videos, maybe this is their guidance to take a little bit of time to heal themselves rather than look outside themselves. So there's that. But what else happens if you don't post on social media? Sweet fuck all. The world did not end. As I said, my nervous system was in overdrive. I was freaking out. And when I didn't upload the video, I was like, nothing bad happened. But I got a rest. So now I'm restructuring the way I do things, and I'm saying to myself, you know what? I cannot go into burnout thinking that I need to be a certain way. Thinking that if I say no to certain things, that things it's gonna be the end of the world. Like if I took a week off, I can't imagine myself taking a week off doing content. I'd probably be able to upload the week before or something. But I can't imagine completely not sharing content. But I also have to say to myself, if I did randomly want to take a week off in the morning, that's okay too. That really is okay. And you know what's lovely? I think this is I'm starting to restructure my videos now. So I was doing 5 long ones and 4 short ones. Now I'm going to do 4 long ones and 3 short ones. And last week was my first time I did that, and it felt really good. It felt like a weight that was lifted off me. And I was funny because the minute I did that, I get downloads for videos every week. So around Thursday or Friday or over the weekend, I'll get my downloads for what videos I'll do the following week. And it was when I just decided to restructure my videos, I literally started getting download after download. I have a list of stuff now written in my book that I have videos for, video content for. So that's another thing. In those moments of pause, that's when the magic happens. If we're continuously trying to rush ahead, we're going to be grasping at straws for what we want to share or produce. And then it's not going to be as good as we'd like it to be. It's going to be rushed, it's going to be messy. And that's okay too. But when you take a moment of pause, you actually get better ideas and it's better constructed. So, you're not rushing ahead. I do this anyway. If I'm rushing to do something, I end up tripping over myself, dropping things, finding other things that get in the way, and I end up getting delayed. But when I just say, right, I have this to do this day, and I'm going to do it. For example, setting up my new webinar. When I first started doing, PowerPoint presentations and slides for my last one and to do the ad for it, it took its time because it was my first time doing it and I was a little bit overwhelmed by the tech. So it took me a good few hours. Whereas I did it again on Monday, planned to do it on Monday, did it with a nice calm energy and had it done in a couple of hours, all of it done in a couple of hours. And I was just and I wasn't stressed at all. I didn't scream at the laptop at all. Which I normally do. You know what I mean? So it was this is what we do. If we actually relax into the next step, pause into the next step, and ease ourselves into the next step, we can actually produce better and produce less frustratingly. So, it really is in those moments that we can create that magic. But it's in those moments of pause we get to reboot as well. And my body will start aching at times. I got shoulder pain issues again. That's my higher heart. They keep cropping up. And that's another thing. Oh my God. What is wrong with our minds? I do exercise every day. I don't do it at the weekends anymore. I was only taking one day off, but now I'm taking Thursday, Saturday and Sunday off. But if I'm in pain and I can't, I didn't do my arm stuff today because of my shoulder blades. But I get into this overdrive of feeling guilty. I'm if I don't do this exercise today, I'm going to go back to my old habits and I'm never going to do exercise again. And I really freak out. And it's I even Google it. It's is it okay to do exercise when you've got full muscles? What the fuck do we do? Because I just feel so guilty. I'm if I don't do exercise today, all my plans, my regime is going to go out the window. And I literally all morning I'm oh Jesus, maybe you should do that. And it's if you actually hurt yourself more, you'll be forced to take more than one day off. So taking that one day off when you're feeling that pain means that you can go back tomorrow. But if you actually push through the pain, you're actually end up going to have to take a fucking week off. This is the thing. You'd be forced to take that week off, you know, with certain things. So this is the thing. We have to listen to our guidance system. We never listen. We feel that guilt. We feel that need to perform, you know, and like, you know, we can't let ourselves burn out for other people. And like, you know, we're givers. We obviously are of service to other people, but you cannot fucking pour from an empty cup. And I've said this before, you know what I mean? How about giving somebody, you know, just for example, if you give 7 days a week, how about giving 5 amazing days rather than 7, you know, tired days in a sense? If you're not at your full performance because you're doing 7 days, then break it down. Give yourself the rest, and then you get to be better for the 5 days. And that's what it is. You get to actually, you know, where we feel we're letting people down, but in actual fact, we're giving people more when we give to ourselves. And that is really it. You can actually be better for your people, for your followers, for your clients, for your friends, for your family, if you actually take some time for you. And I've, you know, this is with any kind of aspect of it. If you don't look after yourself, you're not going to be your full self for everyone else. So you're actually doing better for the people around you if you do actually take that self-care. Self-care is not selfish. It's not selfish. As I said, if you know, you can give more of yourself if you give more of yourself to you. So isn't it better to perform better less often than try to perform more when you're not actually able to? So listen to that tiredness, listen to that overwhelm, listen to your body when it's aching, and listen to that inner guidance system. It really is okay to take a break. Do not burn out. People are going to love you no matter how you show up, because you're you. And they don't want to see you burn out either. So take that time for you and take that moment of pause. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a free discovery call today, and nothing more than to help on your path. I have another free webinar coming up on the 12th of September, 6 p.m. Ireland UK time. I will be speaking on inner child healing, which is a really important part of our growth journey. If you need any information, please comment below.